Hey, ERC Maniacs, Kevin C checking in here. Hope you're having an absolutely awesome day. Hey, I hadn't had a chance to post in here the last week or so here, but spent some time with my grandson from New York. He's 26-month-old and was working during the day and spending time with him in the evening time, so I hadn't had a chance to really post very much. But I did want to come on here because I had a lot of people shoot me text and message me through Messenger and Facebook. Hey, Kevin, what are you doing to be successful? How are you doing this? And so I wanted to just kind of give you a quick little breakdown to kind of help you. All right, and so we can kind of just, I want everybody on this team to win because this is a phenomenal opportunity. So first thing is set yourself up for success with training. Utilizing the tools that you have available through our certification program and through our calls and such as that. Be giving yourself the ability to understand. My whole business took a totally different leap whenever I went through the certification and I had heard some stuff on the calls, but it still wasn't all connecting. And then all of a sudden, it just like a light bulb went off whenever I started hearing Kurt talk to some of my clients, and he was starting to piece some of that. So, okay, the difference between 100 employees and 500 employees, between 20 and 21. Some of that is just details, but I'm just trying to give you. It kind of helps you kind of connect the dots. Okay, I didn't want to be the accountant. I don't want to be the accountant for these guys. I want to be the guy who the resource that they come to from a business owner standpoint. And so then I also utilized Kurt for a few calls and utilize his calendar, try to be real respectful to him as far as his time, and saying, okay, hey, and I got utilize his calendar, have made sure the people watch the video, and then let him do the talking. I did maybe a brief introduction, but I shut my mouth and I just took notes and I listened, and then I got right back on that. As soon as he got done with the call, Kurt said, okay, here's the things you need to do to follow up with them, and man, that was a good one, and such as that, but once I had done that a couple times, I realized, from the certification stuff, I could answer those questions. I knew what was going to happen. And so, do I still use Kurt? Absolutely, because there's certain times I want to use Kurt because that's a larger business. I want to kind of bring stuff to bring somebody higher up to the table. I do that all the time. Matter of fact, Kurt and I just last week talked to an accounting firm out of Atlanta that wants to give us a ton of business because of that conversation. And because the guy knew me from a different contact, so I didn't feel like I had enough credibility with the guy. So I brought in the guy with credibility. So utilize the team. Second is, don't overthink this. Okay, this is something that's easy to get into your head. I got to make this work. I'm the same guy. Okay, I want this to work too. But I'm also a business guy that thinks like a business owner. Okay, and I want to build relationships with them. And what I did was I started reaching out to resources, people who I knew were well connected, and I started talking with them. Hey, who do you know? How can you give me an introduction here? If I give you a referral fee, can you do those introductions? All that while I was going out and still talking to people door to door, or people at businesses I didn't know, okay? Because I felt like that was giving me a discipline. It was giving me in front of the business owner so that they could see me and so I could start hearing some of the objections and things like that. And I was utilizing tools. That's the third thing. I have a what's called an e-business card that and I'm not trying to promote it here, but I'm going to kind of give you a little breakdown. You can order one for my wife. There's a post on here, and I'll put the link below. My wife creates them for businesses all the time. But I use an e-business card that basically, hey, when I saw those business owners, I'd say to them, hey, listen, I know you're busy. Let me get you some information. Here's a link to my e-business card to kind of help you understand why you want to look at the ERC program. Because I had all the resources, and I already printed out the Bloomberg tax document, where they kind of talk about the various things about the ERC program and some of the misnomers of it, and so in turn, I was able to have that in my hand. I said, listen, have you seen this article? I said, well, actually, I've got a link for it here. I'm going to send you my e-card, and that way you got and what it did was I had the George video in it. I have that in there. I also have a couple the testimonial video and a couple testimonials in writing. And so I said, listen, can you give me 5 minutes to review this information so we can talk? And so what that did is now I'm seeing tons of people going and looking at my e-card, and I've got ways to track them and follow up with them and get back with them. And then whenever they're ready to sign up, I say, okay, great. Here's a sign up link. Just scroll down. You've already seen the video. Just scroll down below, and you'll be able to get access to our accounting firm. And they start filling information out. And so I just did massive action on the normal things that happen. Okay. But you got to walk through it. And I would highly recommend utilizing tools like, the postcards, that kind of stuff. Those are all great. But if you're on a budget, the e-card works great because it's not very expensive to kind of get you up and running. But also, you're able to start using it the next day once you have it, set up for yourself. And we can do all that for you. But then really what happens is you got to be the master of follow-up. Okay. This is not a quick process. And George and Kurt have been very diligent on talking about that, is you got to stay consistent on just following up with people and staying in their ear. Okay, have you heard about it? Whenever you hear a success story, whether it's all the things listed in that Facebook, where there's all these various successes of such as that, I talk about those all the time. I mean, there are some guys killing it in this group, and I piggyback off their success. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I wanted their success, and I wanted to be able to piggyback off their success, because you know what? As you hear the sirens in the background of a fire truck, I'm a guy who just, as the old saying is, people always come and watch you if you set yourself on fire. And the fact is that's exactly what I chose to do, because those guys had already kind of led the way, especially George and Kurt. I knew that I could be successful because I was just going to piggyback off of their success. Think about this: 2 businesses a week. 2 businesses a week between now and 2025, April 15th, 2025, at our current averages, puts $3 or $4 million in your pocket in commissions at our current averages and our current business size. Is it worth spending a little bit of money and spend a little bit of time being consistent and not stressing about it? This is, just being consistent every single day. Absolutely. So Kurt, Nick, George, Mark, thank you for being, the leaders to me, and my family deeply appreciates it. But I'm here to help you. I want to be a blessing to you. So reach out to me if I can. But the next step is you got the trainings this weekend. It's going to be huge. George himself is going to be on there. And Tony and those guys are going to help us become even more successful. So that's why you plug into the team. So God bless. Love you. Bye.